Good evening, everybody. This is Miss Shirley, OG Gardener, Zone 6B, Cleveland, Ohio. I'm having issues. Uh-oh. All right. So it's working on my laptop. I didn't know if it was going to work on my laptop or not. Yeah. I couldn't see the chat on my laptop. I went to what is that? YouTube. All right, I'll get it together, y'all. Technology and me are not the best of friends. If you're watching the replay, please hit that like button and show me that you like me just a little bit. Would be greatly appreciated. Also, hit that notification button so that you'll be notified of any new videos that you might uh, receive by that little bang, that little ding. So I hope everybody's having a good day. Thanks for coming in. I seen Unbiased LLC. What's up, baby girl? Psalms 146 Home and Garden. LP, Sweet Thumb, my Renaissance grandma, Joshua Gabriel. Hey, Mike. Laura, Laura's Garden and more. Backyard gardening. Hello. How are you this evening? Can you guys see me on one screen or two separate screens? Because I got my tablet is starting to act right, but I can't see the chat, but I can see the chat on my phone. So can y'all drop in the chat? Do you see me on two different screens or one? I'm trying to figure out how I can combine the two together. I'm learning. Cena Renee, hello. Did I say hi to you, Joshua? All right, you seeing me only on one screen. Okay. Because I didn't know whether to look on this one or the other one, but I guess my phone is what we're going to have to deal with tonight. Um, if you guys have seen the question, have you ever had an analysis of your soil before starting to grow your garden? Did anybody send off soil samples to their extension program or try some different methods like putting soil in like some vinegar to check your pH balance? Excuse me. Or did you use what they call them, those strips, litmus strips, I believe, to check your pH balance in your soil? Or you just added a bunch of stuff to the soil and hope that you will build it up enough to grow whatever you needed, like just adding compost or some supplements like blood meal, bone meal, or whatever to help build your soil up. Can y'all hear me? Okay. So, how did you do your soil? Because I know a lot of people started gardens for the first time during the pandemic, and a lot of the places that they put their gardens had never been used to grow anything in. It's just like a lot of people got rid of their lawns in regards to start gardening or just dug up the yard, period. And the ground might have been compacted or it might have been clay. It could be a bunch of things that your soil might have been lacking. But if you never had a soil test, how did you bypass that soil test and still build your soil up so that you could garden? Backyard gardener Flow says, no, never checked my soil. Sweet Thumb said, I have never gotten soil tested. No, I garden in containers, so I didn't think I needed to. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's a good point because if you're not digging the actual ground and you're building your garden in containers, yeah, because you're adding the better soil from the giddy up in the containers. So I guess this question would mainly be directed to people who had raised beds. And I don't mean the metal beds. If you had in-ground gardening, with that. And then some people have taken the soil from the ground and put it in their pots as well and added other amendments to it to use as well. But you still didn't know what your actual soil was like before you did that. Hey, CC, hope you feeling better today. Yeah. Psalms 146 said, I'm guilty of not testing anything. When I first started, I used, I just tossed in some Miracle Grow because my grandma's always used it and hope for the best. Now only use Alaska 511 fertilizer. Okay. All right. And your granny's from old school. She said she wasn't dealing with it at all. She just threw the Miracle Grow in it and kept it moving, huh? CC, I see you are extending the garden that you have. Uh, are those going to be raised beds as well? I know you got some beds and put them together and raised beds, but for the ones you don't really have any in ground, do you? Because you got a lot of your stuff on pallets and in metal beds, and you're adding more metal beds to it. But before you guys started doing metal beds and putting your garden on pallets, did you actually do in-ground gardening? Okay. Folks talking back to one another, answering questions. Okay, CC, you say you have in-ground too. All right. Now, when you first started and was working the in-ground, did you have your soil tested or you just added amendments and hope for the best? Hey, Sylvia. Hello, dear. How are you? The question for tonight is, have you ever had an analysis of your soil before starting to grow your garden? And I would like to hear some of you guys. How did you start off? Now, I never when I originally started gardening, no, I didn't myself because I learned from my grandma. And grandma never had the soil tested. I don't even think we had extension programs back in the 60s and the 50s. So I don't think so. But when I actually took a class, the Master Gardener course through the Ohio State Extension Program. And at that time, since they were really adamant about it, I tried it and I did get an analysis back in regards. So some places I was short some potassium and others phosphorus, stuff like that. And I was adding different amendments. Uh, okay, so Sylvia says, okay, all right. CC said I just added to it, never tested. Sylvia said, no, I have not. I only grow in containers, so I built my own soil. Okay. All right. And I've noticed a lot of people are really getting more into composting. Not everybody was into composting. They was actually throwing away the scraps, not knowing that they could just, it was going to revert back to the soil anyway, but not knowing that that would save them in uh, rebuilding the soil. And might say, I just amend. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people who are taking their scraps out. Like I see Broke take out and he dig a shallow ditch and just drop all his scraps in it and cover it over. That's it. He's not doing how they say in place in ground composting and not having a separate area where you would have to have it and turn a compost pile. I had a compost pile years ago. I haven't done it in a long time. I'm doing it again now because I got a lot more refuge, so to speak, yard waste to use so that I can build a compost pile. But I never did it before. I actually put all my scraps in a bucket and I would throw in used soil from like my pots and stuff. If I had plants that died, I never threw the soil out. And I just threw it in the buckets and I throw some earthworms in. And by the time I took the lid off the bucket, I had compost. All the scraps I had thrown in there had been liquefied and just broke all the way down, and mixed the soil, and then I would add the soil in my garden beds and also my flower pots and stuff. So yeah, I never. Most of my trash was paper or plastic. It wasn't really any food scraps or anything of that sort. I never put meat in it, but I did throw bones in it. I made sure the bones was clean, and I would throw them in there, and they would break down eventually. Cece said, "I fill my raised bed with kitchen scraps and old plants." Yep, I do that too. Hey, Shannon, my little homestead. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate that. Shannon, what type of gardening do you do? Do you do in pots, in ground? Uh, and if you do in ground, did you ever have your soil tested before you start gardening? Yeah, because like I said, a lot of people who started gardening for the first time, they were digging up lawns in the backyard where it was a full lawn, and they was digging it up because certain spots had more sun than others, and some people just put the metal beds over it and put the cardboard down, and just started dumping soil in it. And then others actually loosened up the soil and had in ground raised beds. Or everybody saying hello to one another. Thank you all for coming in this evening. I know that you could be doing something else, but I appreciate you taking the time to stop by and say hi to this old lady. Kind of makes my day. Y'all give me something to look forward to on a Thursday night, because I don't normally have anything scheduled on Thursday nights. I know Odom used to be behind, but sometimes he comes on early or not at all because of his work schedule. Uh, Sweet Thumb says, "My in ground beds have been disappointing. I was wanting to do a no till, but I think I'm going to tilt up at some point. I should get it tested while I'm at it." Yeah, it could be. Woo! All righty now. Thank you, CC, for that super sticker. I got to do my little, I'm holding my phone, so I can't do it the other way. Uh, 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 money in the chat, money in the chat. Thank you, CC. I appreciate that. Shannon said, "Everything. I just recently started hydroponics, and Mike and G Mama helped me with this. My garden is in the ground, never tested the soil, but in fall and winter, I let the chickens and ducks do." Okay. All right. Well, that's El Natural fertilizer, and they also would eat insects that might be harmful to your plant. Yeah. Yeah. Sylvia said, "I want to try composting in place. How this lady in Africa does. She just take 2-liter bottles with holes in them and bury them in the pots and add the scraps to the bottles." Oh yeah. And it's the same principle as some of these grow towers that they have out here, where they have the middle open and it's all the holes in it, and they put the scraps, and then they drop worms in there, and then your plants can, get the nutrients from that through that. So it's the same principle, but it's the cheapest and easiest way. I've actually have taken a strawberry pot. Now, if you know what a strawberry pot is, it's a pot and it's got holes all the way around it so that you could put the plants in and cover the whole pot. It's the same principle. You can put that strawberry pot down in the middle of your garden bed and stuff it full of garden scraps, and you can put a lid on the top of it, and drop some worms in it, or the worms will find it. Once you put the scraps in, they find it. The top on it helps keep the critters out. Same principle, same thing. And the same thing, you could take any kind of bottle. You could take one of those big 2-liter bottles, do the same thing, cut the top off of it, and you can take a solder iron or a hot poker or whatever, and just stick holes all the way around it to the bottom and sink it in the middle, and the same principle. Just like some people use it the same way to water. I water my individual plants like that. I take my 16-ounce bottles and solder a small hole in the bottom, and when I put in a plant, I countersink a plastic container next to it. So if the top of the soil is covered with mulch or whatever, and to keep it, the weeds out and help keep the moisture in, I can pour water in these containers and it go directly to the root of the plant. Hey, girl dad, cooking up deliciousness. Woohoo! Good evening. Thank you for stopping in this evening. I really appreciate you. Mike says, this is my first year making and using super juice. Oh man, let me tell you, I just added some what was that? Coffee grounds, and I had some old garlic. I threw the garlic in there because it's got a lot of good nutrients in it as well. So yeah. Um Barb Brownlee says, hello, Miss Shirley. I have 3 compost piles plus compost in place in the raised beds this year. Okay, cool. Mike said, my plants love it. All right. Yeah. And everybody's learning their own way of how to compost. Everybody composts differently. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I my super juice is so strong till it'll take your eyebrows off if you leaning over it. So when I take the top off, I literally lean backwards so the smell can. And I was laughing so hard at you, CC, about that super juice when you said don't do it. And I went out and I dipped in the super juice and it was pure black almost. It was just all these nutrients. And you could see the banana peels that still hadn't totally broke down. You could see all the stuff I've thrown in there. And so I poured half of it in my watering can and the other half I filled it up to the top with rainwater. I said, I'm going to dilute it. I ain't going to kill my plants. Hey, Vision Preparedness. Thank you, sweetheart. That's right. Don't forget to hit that like button, folks, and show me that you're liking just a little bit. I greatly appreciate it. My super juice got super weird. What would you say? There's some scary stuff living in it. Oh yeah, you get all kinds of wildlife, so to speak, with wings going in there. Uh, what you all doing? All is doing well. Okay. Everybody talking back and forth to one another. All right. When she say yes, Miss Shirley, I know better. Uh-huh. And what he said, when you know better, you do better. Yeah, that super juice I got ain't no joke. But I tell you one thing, if you see my video on my cayenne peppers, you see they kicking them out. I throw that super juice in there, and then I got a couple of what is that? Ginger that loves that super juice, and I'm growing lemongrass for the first time in a 5-gallon pot. I didn't know it was gonna do this well. Well, my lemongrass is almost 2 feet tall. It's scary. It's so happy and healthy, and I need to start trimming it back. Mike said it smells like 1,000 zoos died. Went up my. Mike, did you throw a squirrel in there? Did you get you some roadkill and throw it off in there? That should give it some little extra flavor. Good evening, Miss Everybody in the chat. Hello, Cassandra. Soft Food and Gardening. Thank you for stopping in. Ooh, my pepper plants are 5 feet tall. Yeah, buddy. That's nice. That's real nice. My stuff need watering out there. It's we haven't had rain again since last Tuesday when the tornadoes came through. Um, Sylvia said, I let my super juice totally break down and then use it. It's black like that. Yep, I dilute it so I don't have to make as much. Well, I got it in the 55-gallon tank, so I got a lot of stuff to water. I love lemongrass. Make you some tea, Miss Shirley. So that's all right. Thank you, CC. So I could just cut the cut it and just wash it and put it in a cup and pour hot water on it and let it steep. Rain tomorrow and Saturday. That's down there where you at, Vision. Okay, because I know when last week you Grow Roll had to leave because she's in Akron, less than 45 minutes away from me. and they had flood watches there. She's going to batten down the stuff in her garden. So you're a little further south, and sometimes you guys get rain and we don't get it. I will love it because I'm getting up early every day, going out there watering my garden. I went out there and looked at it today. Some of the stuff was looking a little peaky, but I can't always drag water over there. I got tired. Yes, ma'am. Or boil it for a few minutes. Okay, cool. All right. I might do a video. Serena, good evening. Thank you for stopping in, sweetheart. I appreciate it. Albert, hello, hello, hello. Miranda, hello, hello. Yeah, we haven't had rain in weeks. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's that rain we had, it was so dry, it just sucked it all up. So now we need a backup. Do you bring your lemongrass in for the winter? Not in that 5-gallon bucket. If I get my nephews when they come over to bring the other stuff in, yeah, I will. Wait a minute. Sylvia said, I need to know who to use and harvest lemongrass. I have mine in a 1-gallon bucket and it's as tall as me. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what to do with it. I grew it last year, but I grew it in a small container, so it wasn't that big. This year, I don't know what made me put it in a 5-gallon bucket, but I tell you, it's just, it's huge. Miss J.K. Gardner. What's up? What's up? What's up? First time trying comfrey tea and compost in place. I'm running out of space to bury the stuff. Well, start burying it in pots. Get there, whatever you got, little pots, just bury it in pots. Throw some dirt in there and bury it there. That way, next year it'd be ready, it'd be good for fill-ups. Lemongrass would die back and come back. Okay, so by it being a grass, it's in the grass family. So it'll be just like regular grass. So I can cut a lot of it though and store it and dry it out. And I could probably some of it in my dehydrator and I could put it on fish or chicken. Yeah. Use it as it is like a herb. Yeah. See, I all of a sudden all kinds of ideas started popping up in my head when she said that it will die back and come back. So it's a grass, so it's a perennial, so it'll keep coming back. So that's cool. That's cool. But I can cut it back and dehydrate it and grind it up and use it as a seasoning. Okay, cool beans. Thank you, Cece. I know every now and then how they say I get a brain fart, and I know there's an idea in there somewhere, but sometimes I need a little friend to help me remind me that my brain is still working, just on a slower scale. Lemongrass makes a great tea. You can cut to a nub and it will come back. Okay. How do you harvest it? You just cut it. I just take a pair of scissors and cut it. Cut as much or as little as you want. Shannon says, I grew lemongrass for 2 years. Last year I brought it inside. It survived, but then I forgot about it. Oops. Okay. Well, that'll do it. Sometimes they'll start growing back inside the house. I'm setting up now. I'm not waiting until it gets cold because I know I'm gonna have to bring all my stuff in. And that would be my banana plant, my Miwok kumquat. I'll be bringing my figs back in. So, excuse me, I'm setting up the little area for it, get my grow lights together and all that good stuff. Barb Brownlee says, I opened my 5-gallon super juice buckets that had been cultivating for 8+ days. When neighbors come near my house looking in my garden, they scatter fast. They scatter, run fast, and start speaking different languages. Oh, you said they start speaking in tongue, a whole new language they don't know nothing about. They like, what the heck? Ah. Yes, ma'am. The roots are used in Asian dishes. Yeah. And I've actually had some with that too. Okay. Okay. I'm learning y'all how to work Just without, I think, without messing up. Oh boy. I can't see the chat. Oh, go back to comments. There we go. All right. I'm learning how to press certain buttons on my phone without canceling y'all out. Oh, Homesteader Rachel. How's some grandbabies doing? I love to see you guys when I watch videos. And like Lady Cheryl have our grandkids. We actually are watching her grandkids grow up through her videos, even from the move from the house to where her daughter is at now. How the kids have grown. And watching PIA with her kids growing up and who is that, Miss Ann and Dale, watching her grandkids getting bigger. It's funny how time waits on no one. And we watch how you nurture these children into crafts and gardening and letting them know that there's more out here to do than video games and TV all day. The stems can be woody. I used either whole, like bay leaf, remove after cooking, or fine powder it, use as a season. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I would add that on fish and chicken. That would be nice. That lemon flavor in there and make it pop. I might even try some lemonade and throw some lemongrass in it and let that steep. The top's fresh, soft. Eat those. Okay. All right. Look at all these suggestions popping up in here. We got some real gardeners in here who have taken certain herbs and spices and used them in different ways and found out that that works real nice. It works real nice. It's good. Thank you so much for the suggestions. I like that. Did you know you can eat hostas? You know, when they first come up out the ground before they start unwinding, they're like a spear that's real tight. And people say they're pretty good. They're tender. I was like, I have to try that. If I can get to them 1 year before the deer get to them. Because, yeah, I still have critter problems around here. They like using my yard like a smorgasbord, you know. They got to come out here and sample something. I got about 8 different kinds of hostas out here, and so far they've only eaten 2. Yeah, and one has been trying to come back. I've been spraying it with the pepper spray, but the rain had washed it all off. Oh, that's another thing. I went to get another sprayer. Do you know these sprayers on these bottles do not last long? If you don't get you almost an expensive one with steel parts that don't clog up and you have to keep taking them apart. Yeah, I actually just took off the top and was throwing stuff at it. I was like, yeah, the top's fresh and so. Oh, Ethan, I read that. Amen about the deer. Yeah, man, if I could sit out there with a bow and arrow, my freezer would be chug. Um, who was I laughing at today? I got my notes here. Oh, I know who I was laughing at. I watched it yesterday. Crooked Peach with that snake and her was that brooder box for her chicken. I thought she was gonna pick it up and take it out of there. I'm glad she picked up the whole thing and took it out and dumped it. For some reason I thought Crooked Peach was gonna stick her hand in there and grab the the snake by his throat and pull it out, but she took the box out and dumped it. I could do that. I wouldn't have been scared if I could do it like that. Yeah. What letter can you drink? T. Ah, yeah. I like deer roast with gravy. Yeah. I've had venison. I have friends who used to fly from here to Alaska and catch what they call them the little puddle jumpers, small planes, and they would drop them off in the woods and they would hunt deer and wild boar. And they brought them back and they knew how to dress them and take that gamey taste out of them. Thank you, Homesteader Rachel. They say the grandkids are great. Yeah. Laura said, "Oh yeah, I saw that she was brave to even do that." Yeah. I put it like this: if I get to it or get to me, oh, it's a wrap. You out. You out. If I had a machete, I'd have cut his head off. Oh no, you got to go. There's not room for all of us, okay? Uh, Bob said, I have been dehydrating my hibiscus flowers for tea. They're blooming daily now. Mine's just about slowed down. They were blooming every day. Yeah. And I meant to grab a few blossoms and stick them in some tea. I was watching somebody else taking the blossoms and some other herbs and stuffing them in a bottle and pouring some hot water off of them. There's been a lot of videos about hibiscus tea. Never seen that many of them since until this year. Oh, I saw Nikki. That's what Nikki. She was taking the hibiscus flowers and some other herbs and putting them all together. Yeah. Serena said we have thunderstorms just west of us. Should we be should be here in about 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, so I hope you made preparations to be somewhere in your home safe and away from windows. And pull out your prep stuff. Make sure you got batteries in your flashlights and candles if you got them or whatever. Um, it's some of my friends are just now getting their lights on from last Tuesday. They've been out, and a few of them lost everything in their freezers and refrigerators. So they got to go. My little old lady that I sit with once or twice a week, she lost everything in her refrigerator, and her neighbors came over to clean her refrigerator out because her light's still not back on. She's at her daughter's house. My snow peas finally quit. I was getting 10 a day. Okay. Well, that's nice. That must be good. I'm so upset how the deer ate my okra. They were finally starting. I got 2 okras off of there before they ate them. Now my tree collards is trying to grow and I got cages on them, but I'm scared I don't have bigger cages that as soon as I take these out, they gonna eat them because I don't have enough chicken wire. I'm gonna find something somewhere because these worked hard to come back. One was half eaten and it made it come back, and then the other ones are new seeds that I dropped. So I've been dropping seeds, y'all. I actually been dropping seeds and stuff been coming up. I'm tickled pink about it. I've been making butterfly tea lemonade. It's my new favorite drink. Okay. I see a lot of people growing butterfly, blue butterfly peas this year. I was watching who was that? Asia Yellow Door. She was doing that. And she was always showing her Jamaica sorrel. Yeah. I've seen a lot of people with that blue butterfly peas, picking the flowers and stuff and making teas out of them, which is cool. It's just really cool. Yeah, Serena, be safe. You know, like I said, if you got to go, take care of your business, handle it. Your safety and your family means a lot more in this life. So do what you need to do to be you and your family to be safe, okay? Yeah. Now, with the lemonade, with the butterfly pea lemonade, does it change it from blue to purple in the lemonade? Does it change the color, Sylvia? And you know what? One thing I found out about burying refuge in the ground, not only does it attract worms, but I never I never cut my stuff up in pieces. I bury it whole. You know, some people say, well, if they, you tear it up and cut it up in small pieces, it will decompose faster. True that. But I rather for it to be whole and let it break down slowly so that the ground can really get all the nutrients out of it. Like my roses, my I will dig a hole right next to the roots of my roses and drop a banana peel in there in a heartbeat because they love the potassium. So yeah. And I was using what's that, Epsom salt for my peppers and tomatoes for bottom end rot. And when I ran out of that, I took some Tums for the tummy and crushed them up real fine, almost like a powder, and put it in some water and sprayed the leaves with it. I don't know. Do blue butterfly pea produce a pea? I would assume it does in order for it to be called a pea. I know it's a climbing vine, like. All right, y'all. I tried growing it, and I did till the deer ate it. Can someone in the chat answer that question? Does it grow a pea? Do you have parsnip seeds? Mine are old and won't germinate. Oh, he's asking Mike. YouTube never shows me Asian channels. I got a search manual even though I subbed. Yeah, I love some of them Asian channels, especially when it comes to pickling. Oh man, they got those jars, those heavy jars. I love to see them when they pickle all kinds of stuff in those jars. You know, Asian stations are nice. They used to have them on all the time, and then all of a sudden they just disappeared. Oh, yes, Lord, but you cannot eat them. Okay. So they do produce a pea, but the pea is not edible, is what Sylvia is saying. But you cannot eat them. Okay. Hey, Patty's Kitchen. How are you? Yeah. I was watching one of your shorts today. I left a comment to you. I'm back to being if I do. Might be old. Okay. All right. Y'all talking to one another. Okay. Hey, TC, I haven't forgotten you, babe. It'll be going out tomorrow. I had to find a way to wrap that. That was the oddest shape. That and the honeybird feeder. That was the oddest things to wrap to find a box for. I had to improvise. Hello, hello, hello. That too, Mike. But I still meant the Asian shows. They had some really nice ways of preserving stuff. Those gardens over there be looking amazing. Yeah. Thank you. Everybody's talking to one another. What vegetables is popular in barbershops? Parsnips. Okay. That was cute. All right. Everybody saying hello, answering questions. I still can't find my shipping paper. Renovating house. Ah. I did that. You know how you have something in one spot for so long, you see it all the time, then you decide to do some changes in the room, and then you move it, and then when you need it, you can't find it, then you tear up the house trying to find it again. Ah, I did that the other day. I had wrapping paper and all kinds of stuff in one spot, and I moved it to clear out that area, and then I can't find it. I finally found it, but it took me a minute to find it. I was like, because it had the tape and everything in there. I was like, I won't do that again. And it doesn't help when you get older because you draw a total blank. You be like, it's been sitting there all this time and you moved it. Where did you move it to? And you try to figure logically, where would you put that so in case you needed it, you could find it again. And then you try going and checking out the places where you thought you might have put it, and it's not there. Yeah. My seed shipping supplies buried. So, Mike, I was in Dollar General the other day. That's across the street from my doctor's office. So I was coming out of there. So I ran over there right quick, and they got gnomes and stuff on sale. And the first thing I thought about was you. You and your nose sitting on top of your hydroponics uh, growers and stuff. I was like, that's Mike all the way. They had the little ones, they had the big ones, they had the ones you could hang on the side. They had them all different sizes, and I was just cracking up. And I know that lady that was standing behind me looking on the shelf, she must have thought I was losing my mind because I got so tickled. I was like, look at these gnomes. I said, Mike will wipe out these whole shelves. I thought they were too cute. But yeah, y'all, when you're composting and you're not doing it in the ground and you're not doing it in a pile, where are you putting your scraps? If you're not digging a hole in your actual garden and burying your scraps or throwing it in a compost pile, what other forms of composting are you using? Fine. Find some, put it in your house plants pot. Ah, that's a good suggestion. Friends for Annie. Oh, yeah, she mad at me right now. I filled up her bowl. I gave her some wet food for a change. She always have dry food because she's an indoor cat. So every now and then I treat her when she's been acting right. So I gave her some chicken cacciatore made for cats or something, and she liked it. She ate it all, but it's not as much. I always kept her bowl filled. She came in there and she was yeah 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 yeah, and I was like, oh, when she get the fussing like that, her bowl must be empty. And sure enough, I went in there, her bowl was empty. So I gave her some more food, and she was all right. Sweet Thumb said I started a worm bin. Let me tell you, Sweet Thumb, I started one a long time ago. I took a regular taupe and I put holes in the bottom and I set it on a boot tray so that I wouldn't lose the liquid that would be excreted out of it. And I took newspaper and I put layers and I dampened it. And then I scooped up a handful of worms out of the yard. I threw some scraps in there. I wet them down so it'd be damp. And I put the lid on it because they don't like the sun exposure, light. They like it dark. Man, I had so many worms up in there I couldn't even pick the taupe up. And then I dumped it and into the yard and used it as compost in my plants and pots and stuff. But I don't know why I didn't keep it going. I think my work schedule, I was working at the time, got too hectic. And I think I didn't add enough food scraps in there. That's what it was. So yeah, life was life, right? Teacher said it depends. Some I use as mulch, make weed tea, and then compost after draining. Yeah, well, even your tea bags and used spent tea leaves and stuff. Throw all of that in your compost pile. I throw in paper towels. You know, don't do Kleenex, but you can do paper towels. Yeah, and I take cardboard boxes if I'm not using them to put down as weed barrier. I will, that's your carbon. That's your brown. You have your green and you have your brown. That helps keep down the smell in your compost pile and also helps heat it up as well if you have equal parts of both. So, yeah. A lot of people don't know how to build a compost pile. A lot of them just figure they throw in a bunch of scraps and that's it. Well, if you want your waste to break down, you need to have carbon. And carbon can come in the form of cardboard boxes, paper bags, newspaper, and your green would be like your grass, weeds, um, and your refuge from your kitchen, like potato peels and carrot tops and all this other stuff. If you're not trying to regrow from the produce, yeah. I have been trying to figure out how to put some worm tea to get some worm tea going. Um, you could take a go check out Growing Out the Box. He's got a real nice video on how he did his worm tea, how to start it, how to drain it, and how to apply it. Hey, Perfection Baking, how are you, sweetie? Glad to see you. Hope you're feeling well. Thank you for coming in this evening. Our question for this evening is, have you ever had an analysis of your soil before starting to grow your garden? That applies for all the new folks who just coming in. Can you give me how that you start your garden? Um, did you ever do in-ground gardening, or did you ever have an analysis to see what might be? Because the first thing they tell you when you're out buying fertilizers is to watch the NPK to see where the numbers are larger or smaller in regards to what you're using it for. Like if you're using it for root vegetables, or if you're using it for the greenery on top above. Excuse me. So it does make a difference. Like some people use 10-10-10 or 20-20-20 or 3-5-0, according to what they're growing and what they're trying to do. Okay. Uh-oh. Ah, thank you, Perfection Baking, like my little hat. Serena says, have one butternut squash growing on my bush butternut squash plant and another female flower that may be ready for pollination tomorrow morning or the next morning. Um, the deer have not come back and eaten any more in Seymour that I got from Mona. And it's got a couple of flowers on it and some squash. So I hope these will grow without them coming back and getting them part two. Well, this actually would be part three. LP, from my knowledge and experience, there shouldn't be any liquid accumulating at the bottom of your bins. If so, you're adding too much water. Yep, I figured that out too. But it's still a nice worm tea, and I still use it. And you're absolutely right. I will not disagree with you. I figured that out. True, I made a huge hot compost in 2021. It's now my watermelon patch and brassica patch. In the winter, I can grow everything in it. It was hard work, but worth it. Never got a soil test. Okay. All right. So on the average, I'm hearing only one person that was in the chat that got a soil test. Everybody else is like, no, I'm good. Let me just add my amendments and this, that, and the third, and something's going to grow in it, because your soil is your foundation of your garden. If your soil is not right, nothing else is going to be right. It's your soil feeds your plant and your plant feeds you. But when you're gardening, a lot of people don't think about it that way. They just want to add this, that, and the third to the garden and not really knowing the principle on how gardening actually works. Someone just said, dig up your soil, loosen it up so it's fluffy, put your seeds in, and just keep it watered. And that was it. They never went into details into how much more complex gardening can be until they got later on in the gardening game. So, yeah. A simple way to make worm tea, very unofficial. Get a mesh bag, add a handful of castings, set in a bucket of water for at least an hour, then remove baggie. Okay, can't get any more simpler than that. Thank you, LP. Appreciate the knowledge. All right, Perfection Baking says no analysis. I did watch a YouTube video about how to diagnose soil health by type of weeds growing there. True that. Okay. Hey, Brooke, how are you? Thank you for stopping in this evening. Greatly appreciate you. Glad to see you. LP said, but there's actually a number of good YouTubers who make tea using a bubbler, molasses, and a mesh bag with castings. The molasses feeds the bacteria, and the microbes and bubbler keeps it oxygenated. Yeah. And that's what I saw with growing out the box, how he actually had a bubbler in his and was doing it. That's what I was referring to. Thank you. All right, everybody saying hello to one another. Anybody ever make biochar tea? Mm. I know I watched the video and I watched the live ones from Led Farmer making biochar, but I never heard of biochar tea. And they say you live long enough, you'll learn about a whole lot of stuff. My mom said if you don't learn something new every day, that means you're not living and you're not paying attention. Uh-oh, here goes Serena. Why do gardeners make good reporters? They know how to get the dirt on people. Okay. LP. In the beginning, first or second year, I used those little store-bought kits, vitals and capsules. I found I needed phosphorus. Okay. Yeah, I started off with those little kits too. They had them at the Orange Apron and at Wally World. And I also had got a what do you call it, a moisture meter because certain things I kept overwatering it. The surface was dry, but underneath was moist, and I just kept watering, watering, watering. What do soil scientists read to get their news? The compost. Okay. I laugh when you talk about your Seymour plant. My parents was growing a pumpkin they called Audrey, but their neighbor cut the lawn and cut into Audrey. It was in their front yard. Oh, yes, yeah. I call Seymour Mona when I'm out there though. Sylvia, I bought already. I bought already charged biochar. Now she was talking about biochar tea. So what? You just put it in some water and use it like that? I mean, can you elaborate a little bit more on this biochar? I've heard of biochar. I've seen it. I think I've actually used it once, but it's been so long ago. I haven't. So bring us all up to date about this biochar tea. Hey, Nikki, what's up, boo? I'm doing all right. Fair for a square. Bro, dear. I don't you have one? I think you talked about that. No, Calamandra tea. I was watching Aunt Lid eating that Joey. It was an avocado. It looked good though. Y'all better not be laughing at me. I just planted in the ground. Ah, yeah. Brooke said he put everything in the ground. You said, yep. He wants everything in the ground. And it survives better to me in the ground because it can sit out for its own roots. Like my front yard, I've only watered it twice. God's honest truth. Twice. And I've been here over 24 years. Once you put it in the ground and you water it the first couple of times to help the plant establish itself, it will send out roots for whatever reason, whether it's to find nutrients, to find water, or just to anchor itself into its spot. Every year, I add 2 inches of mulch around all my plants. And on the top, it looks like it's dry and hard. But if you dig and pull that mulch back, it's just as dark and moist, and my plants are just as happy as they can be. I can go out, I can take you outside right now and show you that front yard, and there's not a stick of water that's been put on it other than God's water, the rain. I don't water it because I live in a rental and I'm not running up my landlady's water bill to water no plants. They all are self-sufficient. And right now I need to divide everything that's out there because it's becoming overgrown. It's been so happy in this place. And when I add a new layer of mulch, I throw like Osmocote, which is a slow release fertilizer on top, and then I put the mulch on top. And as it rains, it breaks down the Osmocote and it fertilizes my flowers. Like today, there was so many bees out there, it was ridiculous. I have lavender and black-eyed Susies and all kinds of plants out there. I got a volunteer tomato plant out there that's got tomatoes on it. I don't know where it came from, but it's out there and I'm not bothering it. It's doing just fine. I got Buddleias, which is the butterfly plant. I had the white and the purple. They've never been in the front yard. They've always been in the backyard. So between butterflies coming and picking up pollen from one plant to another, and bees doing the same thing, and squirrels digging here and there, they bringing roots from the back to the front. I have so many free plants in my front yard that I did not plant. I didn't even know I had that. And then I said, wait a minute, I don't have that. From other people's yards, reseeded, whatever. I have a yard full of stuff that out of maybe 90 plants is in my yard right now, and that's not being over exaggerating. That's probably more than that. I think I've only planted maybe about 20, 25 of them. All the rest of them has been reseeded or dug up, volunteers or whatever. Yeah. LP said, I would like to take my soil to extension office and see how it's changed over the years. The soil I have brought in turned out not to be that great. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I asked him about that plant. He said he don't like the fruit. Not at all. Okay. I think he said that once in the video he was doing. He didn't like it. LP said, I'm mainly really curious how it's looking, but it also not a bad idea to see how things stand. I know you can test for organic matter and other stuff, not just NPK, the basic test. Yeah, it'll give you an analysis of whether it's conducive for worms and all kinds of other stuff. Yeah, certain bugs. That's what a that's what I saw a YouTuber crush it up and put it in water and let it sit a couple of days. Oh, you talking about the biochar? Okay. I never had an analysis done on my soil before. Okay. What do plants drink at social gatherings? Compost tea. Just blend it right on in there, huh? Oh, Pamela. Pamela. Hello, how are you? Thank you for coming in this evening. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Come on. It looks like a cutie mandarin or Kishu mandarin supposed to be sweet. Brooke said no. Oh, I would like to take y'all outside, but I don't know if it can get cut off. Also, you have to add compost with the biochar. Okay. Hey, Francesca. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for stopping in. Yeah, we all doing okay so far. The worms are a good sign, but it was surprising to see worm everywhere in my soil. Yet for some reason, my plants grew weird and did not fruit very well. Now I'm really wondering what a test would say. Well, there's only one way to find out. They tell you to take a sample from in the front and a sample from the back and put it in a bag. That's how they used to do it. I don't know how they do it now. You know, everything keeps changing. Francesca said, I always have one done in my field. But you're on a large scale, so you really need to know what your crops is growing in. Yeah. You big time. We little time. Now the party can begin. Hey, oh, hey, oh. I said hi, broke from, but he never responded back. In fact, I said hi to everyone in his chat, but only a few responded. Serena, we all here together. It's not an issue. We all know you're here. We appreciate you and your jokes. It's all right, baby. It's all right. Sweet thumb, phosphorus, potassium for fruiting. Brett said, you got that right. Yep, everybody say hi. Say hi to Serena, y'all. Let her know she's loved. Let her know she's loved and we love her. Yeah, it's okay. I wonder. You know what, y'all? I'm actually want to try to see if I could take y'all out. Ah, don't y'all go nowhere. You know me. I'm normally going in and out 90 times. I don't do it on my phone, but I might do it everywhere. Ouch. Okay. I'm walking out to my porch. I want to show y'all what I got out here on my porch. All right. Let's see. You can see it. All right. I'm trying to see if I can see it. I got sage and rosemary, and this is a pineapple sage. Ooh, I gotta change the direction. Let's see. Can you see it, y'all? I'm trying to see if I can see it. All right. Trying to get the lighting together. And look at this pepper that I need to pick. And it's turning red. I got a eggplant here that's full of flowers. I got another lemon sage here that's starting to flower. And I dropped the seed for, what is this? Uh, Borage. And it's getting ready to flower, y'all. Check that out. You see that? My borage. Yep. And my other little flowers and stuff. I was hoping that the what they call them? Hummingbirds would show up so you could see Fred and Ethel. And then I found this little pepper plant and I stuck it in some soil and look, it's got peppers in it. So when people say they can't grow food, it's because they haven't tried to grow food. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot to grow food. I want to take y'all out and show you the garden. Let me turn some light on the subject so I can see where I'm going. Yeah, I guess y'all gonna hold out. But I used to take they call it banana peels, know that good stuff, and put it out. Oh yeah, y'all hanging with me? All right, I'm gonna turn around, y'all, and show y'all the yard. My coleus is doing real nice. Oh, I want to show y'all my plant that the deer hasn't found yet. Well, they found it, but then they left it alone, and I was trying to make a comeback. Now check this out. Let's see if you can see it. You know, you still looking at me. Y'all see that? It's a cucumber plant. And it's trying to grow up into the tree It's got vines and it's rewrapping. And then my hydrangeas. Oh, maybe I could show y'all my lemon plant. Put my glasses on so I can see the chat. Yeah, y'all still hanging in there with me? I'm finna show y'all my lemongrass I was telling y'all about. I didn't know if y'all was gonna be able to hang, but you are. Look at this. Hey, you see my lemongrass? Oh, you seeing me? All right. Trying to find out where this camera's at. See this lemongrass? Okay. I was trying to show y'all the lemongrass, how big it is. It's almost as tall as I am. It's huge. I had to figure out what to do with that. So yeah. And my ginger is doing real good too. And my pepper plant. So yeah, I would like to take y'all over to the big garden, but I'm really scared that might not work. Yeah, it is. It's headed for the tree. Now, this tree I planted when it was 6 inches tall 20 years ago. Yeah, they told me it was a dwarf. You could tell they lied. It's reaching it's passing the second floor and it's blocking out the light. Um, Here's all my echinacea. I actually want to know how to use my echinacea to make tinctures out of it, salves, and you can make tea out of echinacea. This plant here is over 200 years old. My neighbor had it when I was a child, and I got a piece of it. She got it from her mother, and it's been passed on to me. And when I planted it here, that's been more than 20 years ago. So it was like 75 years or so when she got it from her mom. So it's been old and it's spreading everywhere. And this is my volunteer tomato plant. I don't know what kind it is. I don't know where it came from. But I was like, okay. And it's so nice, y'all, out here. I got what they call it? Um solar lights that comes on. That's nice. And my purple buddleia and white buddleia that I never planted up here and it's multiplying all over the yard. And it's just like, wow. So yeah, and here's my lavender. It's huge. So all these plants I planted once and they have multiplied and multiplied and multiplied. And I don't do anything to it. Yeah, this is my home. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. When I sit on the front porch, I don't know. Sometimes I can pick out what's blooming and sometimes I can't. Some of the stuff I'm like, oh wow, it smells so good and it just lights up and perfumes the whole neighborhood. Like this black eye Susie, I didn't plant this. I have no idea where it came from. I had the black eye Susie, better known as Radicchia, and it was the big ones, the big blossoms. These little ones, I have no idea where they came from. And they taken over the yard. They started over on the opposite side of my yard. They're not over there anymore. They've taken over. They popped up here, 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 and here. I didn't plant not one of those. Not a one. I have no idea where they came from. I really don't. And the pink one I told you that's 100 years old is popping up all over the place. Now, I planted it over here. Now it's here, here, and it's popping up over there. So it's crazy. This yard is on its own. I just come out here and trim it. Keep the trash out the yard. Oh yeah, I want to see something really cool. I have a hosta that had babies. Seriously, y'all. It's gonna freak you out. This is the hosta. You see how big it is? Now these are the babies. You ever seen a hosta have babies? These got babies everywhere. And they're popping up everywhere. I've never seen a hosta with an underground runner like that one. It just amazes me. Oh, don't grow old. It ain't for sissies. Stairs, y'all, stairs. All right, coming back in the house. Oh, thank y'all for sticking with me, and I'm so glad it didn't fall. I didn't drop y'all. I dream of having a lavender like that. Girl, let me tell you, when I put the lavender in, it was in a 4-inch pot, and it liked the space so much, it just took over the yard. So I just cut all of the blossoms off because one of my stepdaughters, she makes salves and oils. She makes lavender ice cream, lavender cookies, and she also put lavender in her bath water. And she also put it in drinks. I've had a drink with lavender in it. It was real cool. Hey, Karen, I bring it. I see people saying hi. Karen's little garden. Thank you, thank you. I have a hard time keeping my chickens out of my hostel. And I have a hard time keeping everything out of my hostels. Deer, raccoons, possums, whole 9 yards. I like to go sit out here on the porch. The sun done went down and it's nice, and all you hear is the crickets out here now. We got lotuses out here too. They get loud and then all of a sudden they just stop and they get real quiet. But yeah, my street is pretty quiet. You know, every now and then you get your hoolum that's rolling down here with the loud music and stuff. But for the most part, it's a lot of working people over here, and it's not a whole lot of kids. So that kind of makes the street a little quiet. And my neighbors, they wave at me and they be like, "What you gonna grow in your garden this year?" And I tell them, "Wait and see," because sometimes I'll change my mind 100 times on what I want to put in my garden. But then I ask them, if you got some scraps, like put it in the bag. And sometimes I come out and find a little bag on my porch. Somebody had carrots and potato peels or whatever, and I just throw it over in my super juice. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Let me catch up on that. Have a hard time. Okay, I read that. Yes, my hostas. I started cutting the flowers because I have a few mammoth plants and dug some up and gave them. I dig them up, and then if you don't get all the root, they come right back. I had my brothers come over here and dig up a plant less than 2 years. He came back twice as big. I can't keep up with them. We've been having bouts of rain. Yeah, I could use some rain right now in the big garden. It's just too much sometimes to just keep carrying water from here over to the house. I try to water my most precious stuff like my banana plant and my Miwok kumquat and my figs on my Chicago fig. I went over there to water today. I found 2 new figs starting. I was like, I can't say it out too loud. One of these deer or something might be listening and they might be gone by tomorrow. So there's already one big one that's being hidden up under a leaf. They haven't seen it yet. And I went over there and I put some bird netting over my sweet potato vines because something ate them down. I did a video, but they've been back and they ate some more. So I put some netting over it, and hopefully that will slow them down for now. Yeah, super juice. That stuff. I bet you if you bottle it and make that a hair tonic, you would have hair down to the ground. You'd be looking like Rapunzel. Super juice ain't no joke. Likes your place for sure. Yeah. I don't even know how you got on the screen. All right, I'm learning new stuff here. Oh, that's how you do that. Okay. I can work stuff better on my phone than I can on my laptop. Probably the squirrels nuts move the dried seeds. I have flowers growing in places I never. Yeah, I that tree. I did a video I cut down. I didn't plant that tree. I saw it coming up one day and I thought it was a different variety of bush. And then it started growing and kept getting taller and taller. I was like, no, this is not what I thought it was. And then it got berries on it and then it got blossoms. I said, oh, this is a crab apple. And then I was watching um who said Led's video about if you got a crabapple tree that helps to pollinate your apple trees. And I had just planted my Honeycrisp apple tree, and I was getting some other trees, apple trees. I think I got a pink lady over there, a yellow delicious, and a red delicious. And I was getting ready to cut it down. And I was like, after seeing that, I was like, all right, cool. Led, that was right on time. And they pollinated them, and they doing just fine. Yeah, yeah, I have squirrels, dig 'cause the soil is soft with the mulch and stuff. And so they dig into it and they bury stuff. And next thing you know, I got stuff coming up, and I was like, I know I didn't bury that there. I mean, plant that there. Yeah, you hear Annie? What? I'm on the phone right now. I'm on the live. I'll get you in a minute. Okay? Okay. No, we're not doing that. Don't talk back. No, what did I say? Bye. No, bye. You yeah, thank you. Mike, you hear your girlfriend? You better come get her. Yeah, every now and then she gets a little feisty. Blue seeds. I have flowers growing. Yeah, everybody saying hello to one another. Hey, Brooke, I know you went to had the master gardener course. Did you ever do a soil analysis and take it into class? Just to check it out, to see what your soil was like, or you just went ahead and added your regular amendments? Because I know I see you bury, stuff in your garden and just keep it moving. Yeah, she ain't cute. She's spoiled. She's sitting out here on the porch. She's doing all kinds of tricks trying to get my attention. Oh, you say, yeah, it turns out my soil didn't need anything. At that point, when you found that out, had you been amending your soil previously? Because I know you like the alfalfa pellets, and also you was using some other stuff, and then you stopped. You said you didn't need to add all that bone meal and blood meal and all that other stuff. Yeah, that's a heck of a thing, though. Find out your soil don't need anything, that you good. So you know that your plants is going to be healthy, and what you eat is going to be healthy for you, and that it's going to treat your body right because it's okay. It doesn't have all those additives and preservatives in it. That it works out real good for you and your family, and anybody else who eats your veggies or fruits. Because I know that fruit orchard is going to be fantastic once it finally uh, get really established. How many years you give before you can start taking cuttings and selling them off your food forest, bro? Because I know I can't wait. You're gonna be a sellout every time. It was a combination of the whole yard. I live in the country and it used to be woods. Now that's a different scenario there. Because when it was woods, that means that all the leaves that was falling from the trees was leaf mold, which is really rich. Oh yeah, and the breakdown of all of that, yeah, yeah, that'll do it. About 5 to 7 years, I hope. Oh, you'll still be a young man. You'll still be able to do that. Send out to everybody. Annie, what is you doing? She must see another cat. Or she might see what do you call it, a raccoon. She's on the banister looking over the edge of the porch. She won't jump off. She'll stretch out on the banister. She'll take a nap up there. She's sunning and stuff, looking at the traffic or the kids going by the house. She's a good cat. She won't leave. I told her if you jump down, that's the wrap. You on your own. You live upstairs, not downstairs. Yep. So now that I've gotten all this information about lemongrass, you might make me go out there and cut a few leaves off and bring them in the house and steep some and check it out. I thought I heard humming, but it might be too late for Fred and Ethel. Yeah, I really wanted y'all to see them. They was fighting over the hummingbird feeder the other day because I only saw one for a while, and then both of them been showing up fighting over the hummingbird feeder. And did you know that once you put one out, you can't move it around? You have to put it in the same place every time. If you feel like it's not where you want it to be, put it in one spot and leave it alone. Every year, June the 1st, like clockwork, I have it made and I hang it up and they come like clockwork. For the last 4 or 5 years, I had them. And that's what you do. You put it up and you leave it there. And you don't add all that fancy stuff, just plain white sugar and water. That's it. No food dyes, food color, none of that. Just white sugar and water. The sweeter, the more they like it. Hey, Cato Family Farm, thank you for stopping in this evening. I appreciate you. It's out here blowing. Nobody blow for nobody anymore. Call them on your phone and tell them you're in the driveway. Honest to goodness, young people don't have no respect. Old folks don't be blowing. If you ain't out there when you pull up, they pull off. Now that's the way I am. All right. I'm gonna make me go back in the house. Yes. Oh, thank y'all. Thank y'all so much for going along with me on this little tour. I wanted to do a premiere, but I didn't know how to do it. And I did not know that I could do this much on my cell phone because I never really stretched it to this. I don't know what you call it. I never stretched it to this limit. We all doing okay? Didn't know that about hummingbirds, Miss Short. Stationary is the name of the game with them. Yeah, they're very territorial. Once you put them in one spot, that's their spot, and they don't let any other hummingbirds come. That's their hummingbird feeder. They don't let other hummingbirds on it. So Fred and Ethel is a couple, and those are the only two. They fight every now and then, but they get on one side, one get on the other side, and they drink all day long. And you get more visits of them in the hotter weather. They need that extra energy when it's super hot, and they will almost drain that feeder in a day. So thank you, Francesca. I wasn't sure. But I'm still trying to learn how to do like you guys. I mean, y'all have intros that's just fantastic. I love the intros. I like even when you do shorts, y'all got a little music to go with them, and sometimes those songs seem so super impressive in regards to how accurate that music goes with your little shorts and stuff. So I do want to learn. I just have to have a little more mm, courage when it comes to the IT because I am scared of it. And I know it can be bad just as well as it can be good, but it's just a lot. 70 plus gardener, where you been? You've been missing. You all right? Okay, I appreciate that. We all learning. We will never stop learning. As long as you're taking breath in your body, you'll be learning. It will always be something new. We have new people coming into the garden community all the time. And some of them have been taught different ways of gardening. I hear a lot of you guys garden with your grandparents. A lot. I hear a lot of that from not from mom and dad, from the grandparents. They learn how to garden. They learn how to work out in the garden. And then once they got old enough where they didn't have to garden anymore, they didn't and they left it alone. But then times changed. People's attitude about gardening changed. Excuse me. And then the next thing you know, they got back into gardening again. And then you start sharing your little tricks and stuff that your grandparents taught you on how to grow stuff, how to have natural fertilizers. Because all this stuff wasn't around when I was coming back, when I was growing up. The only thing I knew growing up that we added in the garden was a little lime when grandma had fish, to help kill the smell and also to help sweeten the soil. Some people said they were adding lime. I noticed in the chat they said for the acidity, and we was always taught that the lime was in there to sweeten the soil, not to raise the pH, but to actually kind of lower it a little bit. So I guess it depends. But anyway, everybody had different ways of growing. We would dig a hole. Granny would drop a fish head in it, and it was deep. And then she would cover it over because she said, I said, Granny, isn't that too deep? She said, no, because once the plant started growing, it's going to send its roots down. By then, it has broken down. It could take the nutrients from it. I was like, oh, okay. And she would make Granddaddy save the grass clippings and she would put it around her plants to help keep the moisture in. And she would use dandelion. She would make dandelion tea and other stuff from dandelions. I couldn't get into it. I didn't like the tea. I don't care if you put honey or whatever in it. I just wasn't into it. But as you get a little older, you learn more about the properties of certain plants that you grow in your garden and what kind of nutrients that you could get from it and how it can help you. I was listening today to who was that? Sherry Black from Black's Tropical Homestead. And she was talking about, castor oil. I remember we used to grow castor oil plants. The bean was toxic, but the properties from the plant itself made a difference, How to use the natural stuff, not the stuff that's store bought where they add fillers to it. You need pure castor oil to use around your navel to help with aches and pains and all kinds of problems. And, a lot of people drinking the butterfly blue tea or the hibiscus tea. We're getting back into El Natural, all organic. And it works so much better with your body and your system. It helps flush out toxics. It helps with your hair, help with your skin. It helps your liver to work better in filtering out the trash that's in your system. It helps your kidneys function better. You know, a lot of YouTubers promoting drinking water. If you don't like regular water, coconut water. There's a lot of things that we can do to help improve our health from the garden from the veggies that we eat from our garden, the fruit that we grow off our trees. It trips my friends out when my Honeycrisp apples are big, like the end of September, early October, and they come over and I say, just grab an apple off the tree. And they look at me and they was like, for real? I said, yeah, just pick it, and it blows people's mind. Just pick it off the tree. wipe it on your shirt because I don't use all them insecticide, pesticides, no kind of sides, and bite into it. And it just blowed their mind that they actually picked the apple off a tree and just ate it. I was like, y'all didn't do this as a kid because we was all in other people's yard eating cherries and apples and eating up their fruit. Getting chased out the yard, but we was eating good though. Except y'all said, I know the butterfly pea tea really makes me have so much more energy. Yeah, because it's natural and your body can break it down. Yeah, I wish, Pamela said, I wish I had paid attention when my granny was gardening. Now I had to learn by trial and error. These chats help so much, though. True that. True that. Like I said, I've been gardening for over 70 years and I'm still learning new stuff. Like I said, a lot of the stuff that they have out here now, we didn't have back in the day. You didn't even know this stuff existed. But as you get a little older and how they say men and scientists become a little more sophisticated in the agricultural game because farmers been doing this stuff for centuries. They take the horse manure and the cow manure and the chicken manure and they throw it back into them fields. That's how you had the biggest, sweetest, juiciest corn on the cob and snap beans and stuff. Farmers were doing just more than growing food on a large scale. They knew how to grow it right. Like I said, they didn't have all that stuff. They were still trying to get money to buy seed, like for wheat or whatever crop they may be growing. So they didn't have money for all that extra stuff. So they learned to take the scraps and find out, or by accident they might have thrown something in the corner. Next thing you know, might have been a plant growing out of it. Knowing us like, oh, okay, hmm. Horse manure is hot. You got to let that sit for a minute. But chicken manure is hot too. But sometimes you can mix it with stuff because I've mixed it with old, I can't talk today, old soil and still used it. And my plants was fabulous. Pretty girl. How you doing, honey? Thank you for stopping in this evening. Greatly appreciate you. Farmers are now trying to grow fast instead of healthy. Well, that's because the government gives them certain guidelines to grow. Sometimes they make them destroy a whole crop in order to regulate pricing of food. So, being a farmer nowadays is just how bad you want to be a farmer. For the ones that was starting to grow organic and the prices of organic went through the roof. Now you would think that if you're growing organic, it would be cheaper than all the stuff that they putting all these sprays and stuff on. But it's not. It's more expensive and it's not guaranteed it's really organic. Because they said now by the standards, it only has to be like 2% organic and it can be labeled as organic. So yeah, yeah. Um, a lot of these big movie stars and politicians are buying up a lot of land. So that's also driving up the prices of land. And they're growing their own veggies and stuff. They got millionaires. Don't buy food at the supermarkets. They got their own what they call kitchen gardens outside the kitchen door. They grow all their herbs and fresh vegetables from their yard. Just like who is that? The president's wife. Oh, mm, my brain is on hiatus today. Uh, Michelle Obama. How she had stepped up the game on the White House garden in regards to how they were eating. You know, stuff previous presidents weren't eating. They got added to the garden because that's what they ate. You know, Martha Stewart, how she really blew up being organic and growing. Yep, organic is just a selling word. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And that's why we're always told to look at certain labels on fruits and numbers and stuff, and that determines if it's really organic. Yeah, these are good to know. I just dropped some butterfly pea seeds today in a pot near my hydroponic system. Oh, that should be interesting. Ought to do a video on that at the different stages. Serena says I took a long green stalk and put it in the bottom of my green stalk. Then took a wooden stalk, cut off 18 inches of it and put it in the top of the green stalk, clipped them together, then clipped the bell. Okay. All right. Is there more to that? Then clip the bell. Pepper plant to the green stalk. Okay. Gotcha. See you next time, Shirley. You gotta go, bro. I understand. Thank you very much for stopping by. Was it 8:30? Okay. Yeah. If you got other things to do, I understand. I appreciate you stopping by. Yeah. So you'll be there Sunday at what? 3:05, bro. Check you out then. Well, I know I'll see you before then. You'll be in somebody else's live talking stuff. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you. Some really good conversation about organic gardening. Yeah. Yeah. Organic garden is always been a reality, but people just didn't know how extensive it was. Like I said, we when we plant organic, that means we're not using all those extra stuff in the garden. Hey, Kenneth Wilkinson, thank you for stopping in. I appreciate you. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Yeah. What we call organic is, like I said, going out there and grabbing an apple off the tree, wiping it on your shirt, taking a bite and eating it. I've had friends to come out and we'd be walking through the garden. I give them a handful of blueberries and I have some. We'd be sitting there talking, popping blueberries. Or hit a cherry tomato plant, grab a handful of cherry tomatoes, give you some. I have some. We'd be eating and walking through the garden. I walked into my garden and walked out, went in there hungry, came out full. I had celery that used to come back a couple of years in a row. Didn't come back this year. I'm gonna plant some more. I would grab a stalk of celery. I'll grab a couple of tomatoes. I might grab a couple of pieces of okra and bite on them. If I had some small pickling cucumbers, I would grab that and eat it. And by the time I walked out that garden, I wasn't hungry anymore. And I didn't crave for anything. A lot of these foods that you eat will make you crave for something else because whatever it is, preservatives or additive they put in there. But when you come out your garden, you're full, you're satisfied, you're not craving for anything else, and you're good for a while. And it doesn't tear up your stomach, it doesn't agitate your allergies, and you just feel good all over. You might even get some energy. So, yeah. Growing organic, if it's real organic, it's the healthiest thing you can do for your body. I have a hard time with celery. They just don't do well. Well, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't do mine from seed. I had starts. But you know what? You can also ask about certain plants that you get in your area. Just because you can buy them because they're in the store in your area does not mean that they're acclimated to your area. It's just like hibiscus. You have perennial and then you have the annual. So sometimes you can ask if you got someone in the garden department or the nursery that's knowledgeable about what they sell. You can ask them, is this perennial or not? And they'll let you know if it comes back or not. Even though we have harsh winters here in Ohio, mine have come back year after year. I screwed up last year. That's why I didn't come back. I'm mad about that because that was some really good celery. And it's much stronger than your regular celery that you get in the store. It has a more intense flavor. It was just so much better. Yeah. Yeah, you feel better. And I love making soups in the fall with onions and celery and garlic and tomatoes and beans and stuff. I make a serious soup. Then I make some cornbread to go with it on the side. Oh, Slap your mama time. Mm. Just good. Walk in hungry and walk out full. That's what I'm talking about. Yep, yep. That's the way it's always been. It's always been that way. Can't get any more natural than that. And you can't be any happier than that. Because you know you're good when you walk out of there. You're not walking out of there because you got an upset stomach because the additives or food coloring or number 4 food coloring was in there and this and when you read what they said the ingredients, half the names you can't pronounce, you know, like Briar ice cream, they said milk, cream, sugar. That's it. Whereas when you get this other one, you got hydrochloric this and that and so and so. You be like, what the hey? What is this? What am I eating? And then at the end of the night, you wake up because your stomach is doing the bubble pop. You got the Hershey squirts behind whatever that ice cream was. But when I eat homemade ice cream, don't bother me at all. I make my homemade salad dressing. I don't have problems with GERD, no acid reflux whatsoever. If I eat store-bought, I'm gonna have heartburn, chest burn, every kind of burn. Let you know what you're eating is trash. Just like our food, they said it's over 200 varieties, I think, of food that is not allowed in other countries because they know what they put in our food and they don't want that introduced. I think we're the only country that has the problem with obesity because of the food that we eat. If they have problems with obesity, it's because they had adapted Western cuisine in other countries. Most of these other countries, you don't see big people. Not like you see here in the US of A. So that tells you something. Just like our kids are developing at 8, 9 years old. Little girls getting breasts, butts, hips. Haven't even had a period yet. So the hormones that they shoot up these animals, we're eating those hormones. So there's a whole lot of stuff out here we shouldn't be eating. That's why we need to eat healthy. Sweet Thumb said, telling Sylvia, I'm growing celery from the grocery store. Way stronger flavor. Yeah. Yeah. Monos and diglycerides. Did I say that right? Yeah, I think. Yeah. Well, just like they finally got hip to MSGs in the food. It's a whole lot of stuff. Just gifted. Hey. Thank you. Sweet Thumb said there's also a plant called lovage that's supposed to taste like celery. I have not had much luck growing it yet. I've heard of that. I don't think I've ever tasted it. Or if I did, I didn't know. Yeah. Yeah, they got a lot of stuff out here, just like they tell you, and I have had mushrooms and thought I was eating meat, you know. And they can do the same thing with tofu. You know, it's a lot of substitutes for other stuff out here. Like they said, I've never seen a skinny vegetarian or vegan. So they're eating stuff that gives them what they need. Every now and then, they might have to eat a piece of meat because they needed protein, unless they found a really good source of protein that they can take in enough that their body doesn't crave for it. You know, because I got a friend who likes to bodybuild. He's always eating peanut butter. I'll say, well, you can't eat peanut butter 24/7. So you have to have, other forms of protein. And every now and then he will eat steak, but he does love seafood. So everybody has their own way of listening. If they're paying attention, listening to your body will tell you what you need. Just like when you get dehydrated and you thirsty, you know you need to drink some water. I always have water and I add a little salt and lemon juice or fresh lemons in my water to help me with my dehydration because water is just not enough. I could drink water to the point where when I walk, I'm slushing. That's how much water I didn't drink, and I'm still thirsty and I'm still dehydrated. So, what's the word? I know the word. All right, y'all, help me. The word that helps you when you're dehydrated. Mm, it'll come to me. If I just blurt it out, y'all know what I mean. Gotta head out. Great chat as always. Thank you, LP. Please come back next week. I appreciate it. Sadly, Briar's no longer just milk, cream, and sugar. Well, I don't eat Briar's anymore, so I'm good. Have a good evening. Take care, huh? I'm growing lovage. I'll let you know. Okay. I'm trying to figure out what to do with the borage that I'm growing. You see, it's flowering. It's so pretty. Starting a real pretty blue flower. I don't know what to do with borage. I just know it's a herb that you can have. I'm being introduced to a lot of new stuff I've seen and heard and probably tasted, but for me to actually grow it in my garden, normally I don't grow stuff that I don't eat or don't know what they're about. But for some reason or another, I wanted to venture out and grow borage and find out. I'm gonna do my research. That's the first thing y'all always holler. I know, I know, I know. Do your research. Do your blah blah blah. Okay, I know. All right. Excuse me. I will do the research. Yes, I will. Yes, mushrooms are meaty. Yeah, I've had them. I make omelets with mushrooms. I do. I love to saute peppers and onions and garlic and mushrooms and put it inside an omelet and then take like a salsa and pour it on top if I don't put cheese. My dad was vegan for over 20 years. He got sick. His doctor put him back on me. Mm. Was your daddy a small man? Because like I said, I've never seen a little vegan or a vegetarian. Put him back on meat. Got you. Yep. And that's what I was saying, for the protein. Because I had a girlfriend whose daughter was pale because she wasn't eating any meat. She was a strict vegetarian. They told her if she didn't start getting some more protein, she was going to die. So she started gradually adding it into her diet. She's okay now. Oh, yeah. Electrolytes. Thank you, my Renaissance grandma. That's the word. You knew what I was trying to say. I just couldn't come up with it. Yeah. I had a brain fart. Yeah. Electrolytes. Put back the electrolytes in your water into your system. And just drinking water every day was not getting it. Yeah. So that's when I added, thank, just gifted, thank you as well. Adding a little salt in lemon or lemon juice. Okay. I used mm, Himalayan pink salt. I use Redmond sea salt, all natural. Yeah. I like my Himalayan. Bird is the word. Miss Linda says borage will put you to sleep. That's where I heard it at. She said she took it and she slept all day. She said she would never do that again. I know I remember hearing somebody talk about borage. I couldn't hit it. Thank you, Sylvia. Yep, she said she will never take borage again. Yep, she said it knocked her out. But it was natural. It wasn't stuff that was over the counter, you know what I'm saying? Or a prescription your doctor gave you to have filled out. It was natural. And it relaxed her and she slept like a baby. My husband is swinging from my last nerve tonight. I think I served him some borage tea. Nikki, don't put him in a coma, Nikki. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Good night, kiddo. Thank you for stopping through. See you in these YouTube streets. You have a good evening. I got 10 more minutes, and then I'm out of here too. Sweet Thumb said, I grew borage and right when I harvest to dry. T Knox said she was not messing with borage, if I recall right. She had a good nap. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I remember her after it was brought to my attention there. Yeah, I remember her saying that she said she would never touch it again because it had her knocked out all day. Yeah, so everybody get their little stash of borage. When they having insomnia, you know what to do. And it'll be El Natural. And it'll get your mate up off your nerve. Son said, I had grew borage last year, but didn't get to do anything with it because the aphids totally invaded it. Ooh, okay. Jackson Harlan, hey, where you been? Thank you for stopping in tonight. I'm getting ready to leave out here in about 9 more minutes, but I'm glad you stopped by. Please watch the replay. A question one more time before we leave out tonight. Have you ever had an analysis of your soil before you started gardening? For all you new folks who just popped in, everybody saying good night to Kim. Yeah, yeah. You know what, y'all? Keep a little boards in your house, and when you got uh, your relatives that you really ain't that thrilled about, but you still try to be peaceable. They come over and they say, "Oh, would you like a cup of tea? Give them a little borage." Give them a little borage. It'll be a quiet evening for the rest of the evening. Yeah, yeah, that was not. I was thinking though. Yeah, so I hope everybody have a what they call it TGIF tomorrow. I'm like Violet from one of them shows, and she said, "What's a weekend?" Supposed to be saying, "Have a happy weekend." I've been retired. I'm like, "What's a weekend?" Nikki, you know you, Nikki, you could be devilish sometimes. Oh, with a cup of tea. I need to get some. I wish I'd have known about the benefits of borage when I was working at the hospital. When I was having a hard time after working 13, anywhere from 16 to 13-hour days, and I couldn't unwind and go to sleep. I probably would have slept past my shift, so maybe it's good I didn't know about borage. Yeah, now that it has been brought to the light, everybody gonna get some borage. Y'all gonna be on Etsy and and Amazon and your local neighborhood health food store and everything else, checking out to see who got some borage. Because you done found out the secret to sleep. Well, that's better than taking some of this, what's that, Tylenol PM? Yeah, take some borage. Nikki, sweet ice borage tea. Y'all done take this, y'all done took borage to a whole new level. Yeah, like I said, for folks who have a hard time sleeping, like I wake up in the middle of the night and I'll be listening to Mona and Felicia and Miss and Georgia Peachnut. I'll have it on. I make sure I hit that like button so that they can get that like, but I don't always comment because I'm in between. I want to go to sleep, but I don't, but I can't, or I'm tired and just restless. And sometimes I would need something probably like more borage to take me the rest of the way and let me stay asleep because I can wake up. I've been up since maybe about 3 this morning, dozed back off at about 5, got up about quarter to 6, and I've been up ever since. So, yeah, I think we all need some. Borage doesn't make me sleepy, but I only had store bought. Yeah, when you get store bought, it's always something they didn't put on it. Yeah, when you get the all natural, the real, how do you say, the real McCoy, might have a totally different effect on you. Yeah, I just showed them a plant I grew from seed First time trying it, I was happy. I had 2 in there, and they were both doing fine, then the one died, and then the other one took over. I was like, "Okay, only the strong survive." And now it's getting ready to bloom. I'm really tickled. Imma put it in a pot because they said it's just like that lemon balm that took over my yard. It can become invasive, so I will put it in a pot. Great pollinator attractors, but now I grow it to make my house quiet. Okay, I understood that. I grew it for the herb challenge. But what did you do with it, Mike? Did you try it? Did you use it for anything or what? Then you s peace be upon your house. Oh, sometimes I never sleep for 12. I don't sleep for 48 when I'm working. My anxiety will have me so pumped up going on my job. So sometimes I don't sleep 48 hours before my shift. That's why I crash so hard on my day off. I will sleep all day. But I'm retired now, so them days is gone. Borage supposedly makes strawberries better. What, you taste them and then you pass out? I mean, what? What do you mean it's supposed to make strawberries better? Right? Explain that. Yeah, I've done that too. I don't sleep for 24 hours. Rabbits ate it. Did they go to sleep in the garden? Oh, they ate it and was gone or what? You didn't see him again? Oh, it's companion plants. But both of them can be invasive because strawberries and took over my yard. I'm making pathways in my yard and I'm still stepping on strawberry plants. Yeah. Is borage too big to grow in hydroponics? Well, if you seen the one I had out on the porch, it ain't small. It gets pretty big. But I ain't seen y'all grow whole tomato plants and stuff in your hydroponics. So I guess it's according on how big your hydroponic set is, if it can take it or not. Because I've seen y'all take them out of the hydroponics and put them in a pot right next to the lights. So it still got the light. The Nikki, hubby's still in pain. Praying he gets better soon. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Say a prayer for him, pretty girl. I grew it, but it I grew it, but enjoyed the flowers. Didn't know what to do with it before it died. Okay. I'm the same way. It's my first time ever growing it. I found some seeds and I just went out there and dropped them and it grew. So I'm getting ready to enjoy the flowers because they get ready to bloom. I added some more soil because the soil was so soft it settled. And I added a little plant food with it. Cool weather farmer. Hi everyone. I don't think I ever seen you in my chat before. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Get ready to go, hon, but please watch my replay. Hit that like button and show me that you like me. Just a little bit would be greatly appreciated. Pretty girl, I was just about to ask you. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Say a little prayer for you. Pretty girl, for your husband. What's your husband's name? So we can say in our prayers, we call him by name. Yes, the doctor gave me something to make me sleep, but then stopped taking it. I didn't like the way it made me feel the next day. Yeah, because some of the stuff they can give you have you lethargic. If you don't sleep long enough for it to work, it won't have worn off and you will wake up feeling lethargic the whole day. I've had some medication like that and I was like, oh, I won't be taking this again. Ouch, kidney stones. Ooh, been there, done that. Them bad boys hurt. About as bad as gallbladder stones. That is painful. Ooh, I almost passed out once trying to pass one of them things. Ooh, hope you feel better. Uh, I grew mine in an old 5-pound protein jug inside, then put outside where the rabbits ate it. You went through all of that to get it going inside and the rabbits ate it out. Sorry, Mike. I did borage in a small pot and they got long but stayed small. So, Sweet Stone, what did you do? Did you take it? Pernell. Okay. I will put Pernell in my prayers tonight. What did you do with it? Yes, 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 yes. Sending prayers across miles for your husband. Pretty girl. Yeah. All right, y'all. It's 9 o'clock. I didn't buffer or fall out not one time, so that means I need a new laptop. They said we wasn't going to do it, they lied. I appreciate you guys so much for coming here and spending time with me and watching my videos. I love you all. Laura's Garden, good night. Barb Brownlee, good night. Pretty girl, good night. And prayers to your husband. Shannon, my little homestead, good night. Mike, chaotic gardening, Mike, good night. Nikki, hey boo, good night. Psalms 146, home and garden, thank you for coming by this evening. Perfection Baking, thank you for coming in tonight. Pamela, thank you so much. I appreciate you all for coming in this evening. Hope you come to see me next Thursday, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and show me that you like me just a little bit. As I always say, enjoy your day, and y'all come back now. You hear?